Hello everyone, welcome to another Lemonade video. This time I am joined by a very special guest, a bit of a nostalgic guest for any of you that were on the Spin Dash Clash bandwagon, if you remember that. Kendall, aka Pointing Out the Obvious.
Hey, how's it going?
It's strange to be back. It's half of the Spin Dash Clash.
Yeah, half.
To be fair,
Yeah,
there was only 4 of us there, but yeah. So there's obviously it's strange, really. We kind of did the Spin Dash Clash at a time. The Spin Dash Clash was essentially ran for like one of the biggest droughts for Sonic. Like there was just nothing really to talk about, nothing new anyway.
We did good though.
And then
we did good.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, we made it work. And then obviously as we finish the Spin Dash Clash, as things would be, a shit ton of news comes out. So then literally. So obviously if you're here, I'm not going to act like you don't know about everything that's gone on and seen it and all like that. This isn't a new particularly video. My finger's not really on the pulse here, but we basically just thought there's a lot of stuff going on about the there's a lot of stuff that's happened with the Sonic franchise, new announcements, stuff like that. Not really sure when Kendall's next video is coming out. It's been months. Not really sure when my next video is coming out. It's been months. So let's get something out.
Well, my video is planned for this week. I plan to get it out this week, but that it might get a little bit delayed and pushed into next week, depending on when I get my job. I have a party I have to go to on Wednesday. it's a whole thing.
Yours sounds a lot. Yours sounds a lot further ahead than mine, to be honest. My script's finished.
Oh yeah, no, that's way farther behind.
My script's finished, and now I'm starting to edit on it. And usually, I did say on I did make a post about it in Discord and stuff. Usually, once my script's done, I'm usually pretty quick, but on the editing. But it could be a while, so. Let's talk about some Sonic stuff. I suppose.
Me? Oh, sorry.
No. Go.
Okay.
Ahead, go ahead.
So for me, where I am, I literally have all the audio from all my guest stars, all from me. It's all edited. All the audio and everything is done. I just need to do the visual editing. That's been holding off on that for about a month.
Yeah, fair enough then. Fair enough. Hopefully, looking forward to it. Hey, at least it's not as bad as Jay. Jay's fucking dead in the water.
Wasn't that video supposed to come out like 4 months ago?
Jesus. We'll get to a year soon. Jay, if you're watching this, mate, fucking hell.
I want to see my Spider-Man.
Yeah, same.
Get it out at least before what's that new movie's name?
2025.
What's the new movie's name that's coming out this year?
Oh, God knows.
I can't remember the name.
The new Avatar.
No, the new Spider-Man. The new Spider-Man movie that's coming out.
Oh yeah, the new Spider-Man. Far from home, away from. Oh, something now. Forget it.
No Way Home. No Way Home.
That's it.
Yeah. He's at least he's got to get it out before then, or at least tie it in with the release, so get those views, get that sweet YouTube money.
Yeah. So right, in terms of the Sonic Central thing, then obviously, I suppose the first thing we should probably go to is first thing we should probably look at is the merch. Just a quick kind of glance over. I suppose the most interesting thing in the merch for me was the Sonic Ice thing. That was a bit out of left field.
Alright, this is my bread and butter. Alright, see, as a black person, I'm the demographic they were marketing to when they put that on there. And when they said
Sonic for black people.
There was a funny bit where it's like when they said for fans dialed into hip hop culture, and I heard a few black people react to it on Twitter, and it was like all the same reaction of like, bruh, they should have just called me an N-word on stream if they were gonna say that. Just like you can't. Wow, oh man, it's like maybe I'll buy it if it's cheap enough, but I'm not really rolling in the dough. So
no, they don't seem too expensive, to be honest. But yeah, there's been quite a few things with the merch. I mean, have you seen some of the new T-shirts and the T-shirt designs and stuff?
Oh
like
yeah,
that?
They all look good. But something that I'm actually really excited for that I didn't think I would be is the classic Sonic Death Egg robot toy. Because, I'm not a big classic Sonic fan, so I was probably going to skip out on it. But I watched the most recent Sonic official live stream thing. They showed off the toy, and it's so cool. where you have a catapult and then you shoot Sonic at the Eggman and then the Eggman thing just falls apart and disassembles if you hit it in the right spot. And I'm like, oh, dude, if I was 7, that would be my whole week. Just playing with this toy.
I'll have to have a look. I'll have to have a look at the video. I honestly haven't seen much. Obviously I've seen the image and stuff, but I never watched that. I saw it, but I was too busy, so I couldn't watch it. The official Sonic live stream. But yeah, general merch thing. I don't think anything they've done really is kind of been like, whoa. I suppose the ice thing is a bit out there, so I'll give them props for something a bit different. You know what I mean?
I mean, Sonic's always trying to be cool, so you know.
Yeah, I mean the Sonic watch as well. I thought was quite good as well. But again, you know, just some nice merch. Again, there's not really much to say on it. It's just kind of glancing over it.
Yeah.
Suppose then the next main real thing to talk about really
the Sonic mobile game.
The Sonic. Oh shit! Throwing me off. That's another subject for another time. That's Clash reunion. Okay.
I'm joking.
It's Sonic Origins. Sonic Origins.
Yes.
Now, again. I personally, when I saw Sonic Origins, I really was kind of at the point now of like, it's great to see Sonic 3. It is great to see Sonic 3 get some love after so long, really. But I really just think, like, can we just get a collection of some different games, you know what I mean, personally? Not even necessarily 3D. And I know, like, I mean, my kind of gravitation is towards, like, the Rush games, which I know is going to be a bit difficult due to, like, the
dual screen
aspect ratio of the
it.
DS. The games would have to essentially be, like, remade.
They would either have to do something similar to what the Zero Collection did, where like it kind of works like an emulator, where like it kind of switches depending on what screen. But the thing is, the problem with Sonic Rush is that both screens are the accent.
Yeah.
So like that's what makes it hard to port without it just like, dude, it looks like a mobile game on your screen. I'm sorry.
Yeah, on your screen. Yeah. But I mean, I can't actually. Whenever I say something like this, I can't actually complain. Because, like, at the end of the day, the games that are being brought over are solid. And it is a full collection of 1, 2, 3.
And also, it's not like it's just ports that are remaking
CD.
them.
Yeah, I'll give it that. And I am happy to see Sonic 3 there. I'll be honest.
Christ. It's been...
If we really could, if I really could have nitpicked, I do think, like, they could have thrown Knuckles Chaotix in there. Although I do know Sonic Team notoriously hate that game.
I mean, to be honest... How many people actually want to play Knuckles Chaotix more than just a novelty?
Yeah. Well, it literally is just a novelty. It's the pure thing, really. If it's just so hard to play, if you take away emulation, if you want to play that game,
you gotta get a 32X.
You're looking at spending a lot of fucking dough. 32X is expensive, and the game is also very expensive. So it's purely just to, like, I don't know, put it on a platform. I mean, you know, like kind of like with Sonic Gems on the PS2.
Yeah.
Kind of like they'd add games
should have put it on Sonic Gems Collection.
Yeah, it should have been on Sonic Gems Collection. I agree, but like that kind of idea of like adding games in that aren't necessarily so highly sought after, but still just an interesting add-on, a little, you know. But again, it's nitpicking. I can't. Again, what do you think with Sonic Origins?
Like first, I was a little iffy. First I was like, well, it depends on the price. Depending, I am glad Sonic 3's here, but it's like I saw the original gameplay thing in the corner, so I knew that it was like, oh, these are all just, this isn't the actual game. Hopefully they're all widescreen. Then Katie confirmed it was all widescreen, and then Azuka's recent interview saying like, oh yeah, we've been looking at the code. Oh yeah, you love the Sega Ages version, which if you know about the Sega Ages Switch version, there's like a bunch of extra features.
I have seen it,
Yeah, a bunch of extra features, a lot of extra modes. It's not widescreen for some reason, but has a bunch of extra features.
Is it being developed directly by Sonic Team?
It seems like it if Azuka's looking at the code.
Yeah.
If Azuka's...
I would have assumed Sonic Team really would be exclusively focusing on Sonic Rangers.
But like this is a small part project, you know?
Yeah, I suppose so.
But also what's really interesting is because they're looking at the code, that means that they could possibly be Sonic jamming it. You know, like how Sonic Jam took the original code of the game and then just made the games better.
Yeah.
They might be doing something like that than adding a bunch of extra content. Sonic Jam 2, bro. It's going to be Sonic Jam 2.
Sonic Jam 2.
We better get a 3D overworld.
Sonic Jam was great for the time.
Everyone says Sonic Jam is like their standard for collections. Like that's why a lot of the older Sonic fans who actually played Sonic Jam have a huge respect for that collection.
the 3D hub world for Sonic Jam though didn't really. Again, it's just kind of an interesting kind of thought. The 3D hub world for Sonic Jam didn't really come from the fact of let's add this into this collection.
Yeah,
and
it
make
was a
better.
Sonic
It was essentially the fact
Adventure
that it was
prototype.
it's a Sonic Adventure prototype. It's gonna go to waste. Let's put it in here. Don't want to waste that. At least put something in.
Maybe Origins will have a Rangers prototype. We don't know.
Yeah.
They seem to be. The thing is, one thing I do hope though, because sorry to bring up Zippo, but Zippo did mention the Sonic collection a while ago, and also some ports that might be coming. He didn't have any information on what would be in the collections. He was just making some guesses. But something he did say is that there seems to be more than one collection. So I hope that's correct.
I hope that's true. Yeah.
I hope that it's like, here's the Sonic Origins collection, and then here's the Sonic Adventure collection, and then here's the Boost collection. If they do that. Throughout all of 2022, just re-releasing every Sonic game that's ever come out, especially considering the PS5
even,
Sonic
spin-offs
Forces
they're
thing.
sitting on, like Riders, stuff like that.
I would love if those got ported, but I don't expect them to.
No, neither do I. Completely.
It's
agree.
It's
just
cool.
There is a backlog there for them to utilize. You know what I mean? There's so much games there for them to utilize.
Yeah, maybe they'll do a Gems collection situation where they put a bunch of obscure Sonic games all in one collection. And which would be lower budget and probably just for the fans. Because the normal person isn't looking for Sonic Riders in stores. Most people think Sonic Riders, they think Sonic Free Riders, and they think the whole franchise is Sonic Free Riders. I don't know how that happened, but apparently.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I was in a toy store about 2 months ago, and there was a section for Sonic. It's good to see, and there was an RC remote control Sonic thing and it was Sonic Free Riders, and I was like, is that old stock? There was loads of them. I was like, are they still making that? Are they still making a Sonic Free Riders? It literally got Sonic Free Riders on the bottom of the game. I was like, that's like a 11-year-old game though.
That game came out in 2010, but that's what people consider the last game of the Dark Age before Colors and Sonic 4.
Yeah. But I mean, with Sonic Origins again, I can't really kind of complain too much, because at the end of the day, it's bringing some old games to new platforms. I mean, I say 2 new platforms. It's bringing Sonic 3 and Sonic.
It's bringing
3 to new platforms,
but it's also bringing Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 and Sonic CD widescreen to more platforms. Yeah, because Sonic CD got released on PC, PS3, Xbox 360, and maybe Wii. Yeah. Did it get released on Wii?
Which is this, Sonic CD?
The Sonic CD Christian Whitehead port.
Not on Wii.
Not on Wii, so you could only play if you have a PC, you could play it, but let's be honest, the average person does not play video games on their computer. They play it on a console, so you literally cannot play Sonic CD on your PS4. You need to have a PS3 for it.
You can play it on PS Now, on PS4.
You can?
But again, you can stream it. Yeah, I have done it. I've done it with my girlfriends. You can do that, but you can't, play the game traditionally.
Yeah, and you can't have.
So again, it's bringing a better version of the games over to new platforms. But again, it's still kind of like that. At the end of the day,
we already
play Sonic 2.
Us as Sonic fans, 2. We already own these games.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna get it.
I'm gonna get it
purely for Sonic 3, really. But I can't again. That kind of why is why I can't really kind of moan too much, because I am gonna get it, and I don't want to be too pessimistic. It's a decent enough collection, and I don't really want to kind of give too much, be too harsh on it really, when we know very little about it. We basically just know it's happening because the trailer essentially shown no actual gameplay. We just know it's a thing. So
that has me thinking with Sonic Origins. I think that was a last minute thing. They probably planned on releasing it earlier, but pandemic happened, so it got delayed, and then they just started working on it probably late last year or early this year, and then because it's not coming out till next year. So for ports, like, well, even they're not ports, they're remakes, I guess. But like, even for remakes of these old games, I think that I think that it's a little suspect that it's taken them a year. So it's like, they're either doing a lot more than we think that they're doing, or they started production relatively late. Because like, we all know that that's what happened to Colors. Colors was supposed to come out last year. That's like, I think that's a perfect transition, to be honest.
Colors, that is a great transition. Colors, I suppose Colors are going to be the biggest thing to unpack in this video, because Colors is the one we know the most about.
It's the one that was supposed to come out.
we know quite a lot about Colors, really. I suppose in general. I suppose the first thing really is, are you disappointed in the choice of it being Colours of the game supported? Because I know a lot of people, myself included, were calling for an Unleashed port. I think underlying in the Sonic community there was a huge calling for them at least to at least port something. You know, like, bring us something from the back catalogue of games. You know. So what do you think on the choice of Colours?
For me,
what do you think?
Makes literally the most sense. It's impossible to play Sonic Colors on anything besides a Wii or a Wii U. Yeah, emulation exists, and Dolphin is a great emulator. But like, I hate when people go like, "Yeah, but you could just emulate it." That's not the point. Yeah. Most people
when
don't
I was 7
emulate
and like Sonic, I couldn't emulate a game. It's like
most kids are not emulating their Wii games. Like, it's like
I mean, for me, I genuinely, and you know how much, Sonic Unleashed is my favourite game of all time, so there was a point of like, it would have been so nice to get Unleashed, but I've pushed for, way back on like months and months and months. I feel like I was ahead of the curve here, to be honest, with my Sonic Colors video. I was so pushing. I was saying like, this is a great game. This should be brought to modern platforms. You know what I mean? I was encouraging people to play the game then. I was encouraging them to like dust out a Wii and play it, or like, obviously, or emulate it.
That game is going to be that video is going to be more and more relevant this year. So expect a spike.
Yeah, well, I think I'm probably going to make a follow-up video on Colors Ultimate.
Nice.
But like, in terms of just the raw choice of Colors Ultimate, again, I do think it does make perfect sense. Like you said, it's probably one of the most inaccessible games now.
From the modern
from the modern era, yeah, because like, even if you look at Sonic Unleashed, it's like, it's limited to PS3 and 360 if you look at the 7.
But you could also play
at the end of the day
on Series X. You can play it on the most modern.
And you can also get it on PS Now, on PS4, and on top of that as well, even just the base console of a PS3 and an Xbox 360, they have HDMI. The Wii is composite, and so many TVs now don't have composite.
And there's no way that you're gonna find a Wii U. Like, it's
well, let's be real. Let's be realistic.
Finding a Wii U is rough.
So exactly. So in terms of the raw choice, I actually can completely understand why they went for.
It'd be cool to get Unleashed, but also, dude, a thing that I think a lot of Sonic fans forget, especially because like in the Sonic community, we tend to only hang out in our bubble and only talk about Sonic to Sonic fans. Yeah. If you look just a step outside the Sonic community, like, something that really like made me really, really have to swallow that bitter pill was the Future Game Show where they showed a bit of the Sonic Symphony, and it was only Sonic Unleashed music, and people were like, Sonic fans were like, oh man, Unleashed, oh man, they're really showing off the Unleashed music, putting some respect on Unleashed's name. Oh, that's cool. But I looked just outside the Sonic community because it was a big event that Sonic fans weren't watching. They were like, bruh, imagine being nostalgic for Sonic Unleashed. Man, why are they playing... imagine being an orchestra and having to play music from Sonic Unleashed. I'm like, oh yeah, people hate this game.
Yeah, you know what? That's literally what I was about to like touch on, and that's such a great point. Again, I completely agree with you. Kind of in Twitter and Discord, and online, whatever, in person as well. I suppose like we do kind of like restrict ourselves to this kind of this community, and you kind of fool yourself like on Twitter and stuff, and like my feed is just full of people absolutely fucking bumming Sonic Unleashed off, and I kind of developed this idea in my head like, oh yeah, everyone loves Sonic Unleashed, it's finally came around. But again, like you said, kind of peek outside of that kind of Sonic fan base, and the mainstream critical reception is still... No, it's not really. It's still very mixed.
It's still very mixed to negative. And if you even look at people who didn't like the thing. I think a perfect way to see this is just to watch Some Call Me Johnny's review of Sonic Unleashed from 2008, and then watch his review in like 2016, or even his Black Knight stuff. The people who didn't like the game back then still don't like it. The only people who love the game now are the people who loved it when it came out. So it's the same people. We're just older and we talk more.
I do think there has been a new. I have seen quite a few cases, to be honest, of like I do think people have started to grow on Unleashed over time, and I think a lot of that
there has been a newfound respect for what it did, though.
Yeah,
I do think even the people who don't like it, they go like, "Yeah, the story was what is like is better than what we got going on right now. The voice acting was acting was good.
Like the scale,
it was a big,
like
it was trying to be a AAA experience.
Yeah,
they'll go like, I still don't like the game, but I can respect it more.
Yeah, you will get a lot of that as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that, and I do think you do get some people who do kind of like come around on the game, and I think like stuff like forces and things like that kind of puts things into perspective. Like, we thought this was bad, but we know bad now. Do you know what I mean?
But one thing that I hate about forces, and I'll always hate it for this, it made people just turn on colors harder than it's ever been turned on before, and now colors is just guilty by association. And I hate that so much.
Yeah, you know what? It's if for me, if anything, playing forces and then playing colors made me kind of think, because originally I was like, oh, the level design in colors is a bit simplistic, but then playing forces and going to colors, I was like, what the fuck was I talking about?
What was I talking about?
Simplistic. But like,
I literally did the same thing, dude. I got Sonic. I got the PS5, right? So I got Sonic Forces for it because like I was like, let me just get it for it. Get it on the console because I'm. Can I curse on this channel?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm saying I'm honestly like Sonic's bitch sometimes, so I rebuy the same games even if I don't like them that much. So I have it on my PS4 now. I played through the whole game, I'm like, about the same as normal. Got rid of it off the hard drive, but then I played colors because I was like, let me play colors on its own terms. Let me play, but how I played it on the challenge mode. You know what I'm talking about? The egg shuttle. Like, the egg shuttle. That is the best way to play Sonic Colors, and it made me just gain a newfound respect for it. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna use the Wisp. I'm gonna actually go through the levels. And I'm like, oh, Colors isn't a slow block-based 2D platformer. It's only like that if you avoid using the Wisp. Because the Wisp break the game and speed it up to an obnoxious degree. Oh, you don't want a platform? Just turn into the drill Wisp, drill down. There's a pipe down there that skips this whole section. Oh, you don't want to do this? There's literally a Spike Wisp right there. Use it. The Spike Wisp is the best Wisp. No one talks about that.
I agree as well. And another thing really with colours as well that I found is, so like, you can kind of flip that the other way around. There's like a group of people that kind of have a big issue with the level design, and you basically just address that then with the Wisp. There's also a big group of people that have an issue with the Wisps, and again, like when I played the game, despite the game's emphasis in the story and tone and marketing about the Wisps and stuff, if you don't want to use the Wisps in Sonic Colors, you can play like 90% of the levels without using the Wisps. There's very rare circumstances where you actually have to use the Wisps. Again, I like the Wisp, but this is for those people that hate those Wisps.
But I honestly feel that if you don't use the Wisps in Sonic Colors, you are getting a worse experience, though.
Oh yeah, I would agree. Yeah, I mean the game's built around it.
It's like once I actually stopped fighting the game and wanting to play it the way that I wanted to play, and I just was like, it's the same way how I play Sonic Lost World. I have to meet the game on its terms, not trying to make it something that it's not. It's like, okay, so I had to learn. The boost isn't like Generations and Unleashed. It's a situational power up, not a boost button that makes you go faster. And once I started using it like that, I suddenly had boost all the time. No matter what, because I wasn't boosting in the wrong sections.
I completely agree. It was an interesting thing as well. Going back to the choice, just the concept of the choice of the game to be brought to a new generation, I suppose, being Sonic Colors. I was reading an interesting Famitsu article that was translated with Takashi Iizuka, and he was essentially talking about Colors, really. And he was basically saying about how kind of like, the game was very, basically going into the reasons why they as a team chose Colors. Obviously, the first thing is, the game was well received critically, you know what I mean. So it's like, and the main thing he talked about really was like, obviously with the big success of Sonic Mania, the relative success of Sonic Forces, Team Sonic Racing sold well initially, obviously, again, so that is another success. And then the Sonic movie, which was like a huge success, and there's been a huge influx. This is from Takashi Iizuka. There's been a huge influx of fans into the Sonic community, so they kind of like, this game to be ported, he said something along these lines of like, it's kind of an accessible game to get people into the franchise, to get new fans into the franchise. And
honestly, I can agree with that.
Yeah, so can I. And like going back to like Unleashed and stuff, like if he ported, an Unleashed port is for the fans.
Yeah,
it is for the fans because IGN will get their hands on it and they'll just tear it to
shreds.
It's the
same game, but with a better frame rate.
Yeah, exactly. It's for the fans, and at this time period, he literally said like, this game is to kind of like to coincide almost with Sonic 2, the movie. I know it's coming out a fair bit earlier, but it's something.
It was supposed to come out. This game was. That's just proof that like, because they made the decision to remaster Colors right after the movie came out. Like, they say that. They go like, after the movie came out, that's when we decided we're going to remaster Colors. So it started development at the beginning of 2020, and it was supposed to come out at the end of 2020, and we all know what happened in 2020 for that to not work out. So it's like, that's why there's the movie skin, the movie DLC, like all that other stuff to like tie in with the movie. It was supposed to be a late movie tie-in game technically, but now it's just more lining up with the sequel.
With the sequel. So again, the game, it has to be like an accessible game, and it has to be a game that is very inviting to new fans. They basically want this game to maximise the amount of new fans they can catch as possible. And as much as I love Sonic Unleashed, that's not the game to do that.
Even as much as I love Generations, the thing is, I feel that like Sonic, like out of the last like 15 years, like since 06 to now, which is HD era, which would be the games that they're pulling from, we got 06, Unleash, Colors, Generations, Lost World, and Forces. You could play Forces on modern hardware, so that's out. Lost World doesn't represent the whole franchise, so that's out. So you got Generations, Unleashed, and Colors. Unleashed is really hard and has has the Werehog attached, so that's not the best representation of the whole series, even though it may have the best story. So we're gonna have to take that. So it's down to Colors and Generations, and Generations you could play on PC. But also, it has a lot of old levels.
Colors deserve.
So it's like, Colors. It has to be Colors because that has all original levels. It's a very simple story. It introduces some basic concepts that are around for their entire franchise before and after. It's a good starting point.
It's you know what, Colors deserves the spot. It's a great game. I have a fair bit of nostalgia for Colors. I really enjoyed it when I played it initially back in 2010, and I like the idea that new Sonic fans can have that same nostalgia for that game all over again. You know what I mean? Like a new generation.
Yeah,
of Sonic
just a
fans.
new.
It's much better than people of when kids that are growing up with fucking Sonic Forces or something.
I feel bad for them because the thing is they're going to be the new. They're going to be the new 06 fans, where they're going to like a game that's not really good, but then everyone's gonna go not listen to anything they have to say for the next 15 years.
Exactly.
Until the next bad game comes out.
It's a shame, and to give them Sonic Colors, I think is great, and I am looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it greatly.
Also, let's just talk about the visuals of it.
I was literally just about to, that's literally what I was about to say. Touch on the visuals, because I think initially people were very like, this looks a bit off. What's with the bloom? And up until today, this recording, I was very on the fence of how it looked.
Really?
up until today, I was like, some screenshots I'd see look great, some screenshots look awful. I'd see that video footage that was posted on that artist's blog. Some look great, but a bit washed out.
But also, he uploaded that footage in like 240p. Let's be honest.
Oh well, yeah. But then today, I've seen a full gameplay. I've seen a full gameplay showcase of Asteroid Coaster Act 1 and Planet Wisp Act 1, and I think the game looks great. I think it looks really good.
It looks great in HD. And the thing, something that actually annoys me though about some Sonic fans is that I think some Sonic fans are under the impression that this is supposed to be a remake, not a remaster.
No,
because it's actually kind of annoying because they're like, man, how come there isn't all this new stuff? Why does it just look like the same game but slightly better in HD? That's what a remaster is.
I mean, it's still clearly a Wii game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like there's only so much you can do without completely remaking the game with modern design philosophy.
The main, like, visually, really, I think the bloom can be a bit too high at times.
I think, honestly, I think they turned it down from that original trailer.
Yeah, they definitely did. I mean, it never kind of stuck out to me as an issue, really, except Asteroid Coaster, it seemed a bit much sometimes, and, like, the rings, there was a bit too much bloom around the rings, it was, like, a bit evident, but, again...
But also, you're surrounded by acid, so it's probably the lighting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the rings was, like, in Planet Wisp as well, but again, you know, it's minor nitpicks and stuff.
At that point, it's just minor nitpicks, you know.
What initially turned me off was the Tropical Resort showcase in the trailer. I was like, what the fuck? What happened to Tropical Resort? You know, it looked awful.
For me, actually, I didn't think it looked awful. For me, I was like, oh, they're making the lighting actually how lighting would be in space.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't a fan of it personally. Like, I thought it looked better on the Wii version, but again,
it's all personal preference at that point.
Well, I do think they have changed it a lot as well. To be honest, I do think obviously we haven't seen Tropical Resort, not to my knowledge.
Tropical Resort is definitely the one. Unless there's a new gameplay. Let me look.
Yeah, that's probably the one I'm most interested to see. Tropical Resort, but again. I think it's going to be pretty good. The main kind of big thing, and we will kind of like we'll wrap this up and talk about Sonic Rangers in a sec. The main kind of thing really that no one talks about. I've heard no one mention this, right? But I've been doing a little bit of detective work, and I'm like 90% certain this is true. So. When playing the original colours, in my video, the main kind of issue I picked up on is the context-sensitive controls. You know, even when playing the game on like a proper gamepad, you can still only drift in certain sections by using the same B button, and the quick step is mapped to the analog stick in certain sections, and blah 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 blah. I'm pretty sure they've changed it for this remaster. In the website for Sonic Colors, it advertised revised controls. And when looking at this gameplay footage earlier, I am like 99% certain I saw the guy drift in like a section where you were not meant to drift. So I'm pretty certain. I feel they've changed the controls. I do think they have.
I've been looking, and I don't. The thing is, I'm just hoping they make it a button. But the thing is, also in Sonic Colors level design, there isn't really much reason to drift. What they did do though,
there's definitely
they took away the button prompt. They took away the prompt for pretty much everything except for like I think
when you go off the gold ramp.
Yeah, even for the Wisp, because maybe the dude's playing without the button prompts on. I don't know, but like it's like they haven't explicitly told us if it's a button or it's still the same thing. I would love it to be a button because I hate the quick stepping with the analog stick because that's how I die when I play on a gamepad. I'm trying to quick step and then like I die because the analog stick flicked back into place. And then,
I know.
Oh god,
it's not ideal. I really do hope they have changed the controls, and again, I'm curious to see. I mean, it says on the website itself revised controls. I'm curious to see what's that mean. You know, ideally, I would
maybe
hope,
it just means it's smoother.
maybe. In my head, my hope is that they've basically just mirrored modern Sonic Boost controls, the drift being the bottom triggers, and quick step being the top triggers.
I hope so, because every console this is going to be on is going to have all those buttons available.
Oh yeah, exactly. Boost being square, you know, jump, X, home and attack, slide, circle, And to be fair, the light speed dash.
Something that I did.
Triangle could be the Wisp.
Oh, triangle could be the Wisp. That'd be cool. You don't have to make an R1. Yeah.
No, well, because R1 and L1 would be used for the quick step. Ideally.
Yeah. That would work. Triangle being the Wisp because it's not like you only have like 2 buttons. No, 3.
Yeah.
I think you jump, you have the boost button, and then you have the.
Wisp.
Dude! I just saw Whisper still RB. They probably didn't change this. I'm looking at the Planet Wisp gameplay, and the dude turned into the Spike.
Still says RB.
Yeah, he pressed R1.
Damn.
The quick steps are probably still the analog stick. God damn.
Fuck's sake.
God damn it.
No. I mean, you know what? Maybe use the D-pad if it let me do that.
If it lets me use the D-pad, that'd be so much better.
Yeah, it probably would let you use the D-pad, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe, because the Wii didn't have, like, a...
The Wii, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be a huge thing to kind of revise it.
Guardians of the Galaxy got a video game. Yeah. Oh. I'm sorry, I'm on Game Informer.
It's okay, that's fine. That's new.
It's like it is E3
with a thingy. I do think that the Sonic Colors being ported into an entirely new engine. So I do think that I think that the controls should be changed and stuff like that. But again, I hope so. Even me saying, the controls, they should be better. It is minor because, again, even when playing... Because I didn't play Sonic Colors that long ago, really, for that video. Only like 5 months. And, again, like... Even though those context-sensitive, like, drift and stuff, like, again, it was a bit like... but it was fine, you know what I mean? I got used to it. It was definitely not as bad as I thought it was in my head.
Yeah, so, it's like you always remember
I'm very
it
excited
worse.
for Colors.
One thing they have added that might mean the refiner controls is the new homing attack. They're taking some influence from Sonic Lost World in a way. By having a perfect homing attack.
And in what way? Was it like you can get like a...
You could get a rainbow trail if you time your homing attack properly.
I think I heard the noise of that in the Asteroid Coaster one.
In the Asteroid Coaster they use it a lot, and it seems that the homing attack is faster and more powerful. So maybe that's like that kind of adds a little bit of an extra layer of skill.
Yeah.
If you're trying to get a faster time.
Again, I am looking forward a lot to Sonic Colors Ultimate. I feel like they would really have to royally fuck this up to have this come out a bad game.
And since we've actually seen people play it and they haven't said anything bad about it.
They'd really have to fuck up to ruin this. Like, the core blueprints, not even blueprints, the game's there, the game's good. Just bring it to a new fucking audience. That's all you've got to do, really.
And it's not even Sonic Team, it's the guys who made the Mass Effect Legendary Edition and Bioshock Remastered. Which I've heard good and bad things about both of those.
Yeah. Well, at least they've got some kind of like knowledge and porting and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so,
they're becoming a kind of a bigger force in the porting industry. They also made the Borderlands port, I think.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
The last thing to touch on as well, you've got that Tails save thing, which again I don't really have much interest in. I mean, it's fine. I really don't think Sonic Colors was in need of being any easier. I'm not really sure why they removed lives as well. From the looks of it, there's no lives.
No, they've already said even the game just doesn't have lives anymore.
Yeah,
which
I don't really agree with personally. I still think lives are a good
I
thing,
understand though, because we're at a point in gaming where you could count how many games that came out in the last year that actually have lives. You can count them. Because because even classic revivals are starting to not have lives anymore.
Yeah, like
Crash Bandicoot came out with a game with an option to just not have lives, and most people played with that version because it was just more. It was better. And the thing is with Sonic Colors, even though it's not a super hard game, I'm gonna be honest. I'm playing with the tail save feature because it rewards me for collecting those tails things. To the point where, I don't lose rings, I don't lose time, I just die and keep moving. But if I run out of those things, I got to start back at a checkpoint.
See, I'm not going to go for that personally. Like, I'd much rather have the challenge. Again, I already think Sonic Colors is not a hard game at all, so it's not for me. But again, the option's there, and I appreciate that. It is a new feature, you know what I mean? And again,
how would you feel?
This whole big thing.
How would you feel if it's not an option and that's just how the game is now?
If it's forced onto me, I wouldn't be a fan, really. I really wouldn't.
Really?
I don't think it should be forced onto someone.
Yeah.
I'm fine for it to be an option. I can't argue with that, but I don't think the game. I wouldn't ever want to use that really. So
for me, dude, it will save me so much time getting those red rings, man. Because getting those red rings are a bitch in colors. I think
Sonic Colors Ultimate.
I think Sonic Colors is actually the hardest game to get the red rings.
But you know what? I've never really gone for it. I've done it.
You never done that? You never got Super Sonic?
I don't do anything like that. Honestly, I just enjoy the game. I've never been like that with any kind of game. I never really go back and kind of hunt for red rings or anything like that.
Oh, bro, you never got Super Sonic?
No, I honestly didn't. I just played through the game.
Have you at least gone back and got the red rings in Generations?
No. Again,
oh my gosh.
I mean, I'll go back to Generations all the time and play through the levels, but again, it just doesn't interest me like Metal.
Bro, the music, you can choose.
Yeah, I've got to actually. To be fair, in Generations, I've got a fair few for the music. I've done that for the music. I have done a fair few for the music. But again, I've never 100%ed it.
Oh man.
Sonic Rangers, last thing.
Rangers. Let's just get into it.
I don't think there's loads to talk about here because again, it is literally just
but something we can confirm. Sonic runs in the new game.
Sonic does run. What do you think? So going off the initial trailer, what do you think?
The teaser trailer. This Marziplanet, doing it looks good. I like they had that little detail where Sonic was running, and then he had to avoid a bush, so he kind of stumbled for a bit. That was a nice little character animation.
Yeah, I agree.
The thing that he did looks cool.
The boost thing. Yeah.
Without the leaks, there really isn't much to talk about besides
there
Sonic.
Really isn't.
Sonic runs in forest. And the thing is, something that actually did get me mad with the Sonic community in the last few weeks, ever since this trailer came out, it's I understand they want gameplay, but that's not what they were saying all last year.
I agree. Yeah.
They were saying, I just want a picture. I just want a logo. Just tell us what's going on. And the thing is, I love the double standard that we have, because Breath of the Wild 2 got announced how long ago? And we haven't seen gameplay?
and at Nintendo's Direct, we basically just got "it still exists" announcement. Breath of the Wild 2 is still a thing.
Yes, yeah. And the thing is, people, Sonic fans were like, look at Nintendo telling transparency. We want transparency. We just want them to tell us if it's coming out this year. They told us if it was coming out next year. And they gave us a trailer to give us at least a hint, so we have at least something to think about. We at least know the next Sonic game is coming. But the thing is, all of a sudden they start going oh man, we already knew a new Sonic game was coming. You guys weren't acting about like that for the last 20 years. Yeah. The people you call the Sonic Defense Squad were always saying, yeah, dude, you know the game is coming, so just wait for info, just wait. And you guys are like, no, we need news now. I can't trust them after Forces. But then the game comes out and but we already knew the game was coming. And I'm like, oh my god, shut up! You guys just want to complain.
I don't have an issue at all, really, with the release window as well. 2022, especially with Colors coming out this year. Colors is more than enough to tide me over.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Is Origins coming this year as well?
Origins is probably coming out early 2022. So
early 2022.
And 2022, let's be honest, 2022 is the real 30th anniversary year. We got a TV show, a movie, a game, a port collection. That's where. Because
possibly more as well.
I have a feeling all that stuff, well, except for the movie and the TV show, were supposed to come out this year and then lead into next year. But that's just not what's happening because of the pandemic. No. Censor that if YouTube hates it. If I said that, sorry.
No. So Sonic Rangers, really. I'm excited, and I'm excited as much as you can be, really. From not much has been shown there.
For me, I'm completely neutral on it. I'm not happy or mad. I Sonic Colors. Excuse me, sorry. Sonic Colors is getting re-released. Sonic Origins is coming out. People were expecting Sonic Rangers at E3, but I don't know why. Like Thwip. Sorry to call him out, but like he was like, "Oh man, Rangers at E3. Why would they release a teaser trailer and then not have the game ready for E3?" Well, because if they went up with Sonic Central and only showed Sonic Colors, the riot would be crazy. Like, let's be honest. Let's not mince words here. It's like the people who've been complaining about no news all of last year would be like, "When there's still no Sonic game, it's just colors. I hate colors. I hate colors."
But maybe to save face a bit. I mean, again.
It's like
we have no idea at the end of the day, you know.
But I don't expect anything on Sonic Rangers till after September, until after Sonic Colors comes out.
Neither do I. I doubt.
Now, if we don't hear anything by November, then we might have another Forces on our hands.
Yeah, potentially.
It's like, if it's sometime, the latest I'm willing to wait before I even get worried is November. Because the game is probably coming out holiday 2022. So if we get a trailer with some gameplay a year before the game comes out, and then slowly have that dwelled out over the course of a year, that's cool. I'm cool with that. I don't want another... And the thing is, people are comparing this to Forces of like, oh man, Forces got released with a teaser trailer that was completely CG, and then didn't get anything for like... It wasn't until the next year, April, where we got Sonic running down Sunset Heights, and everyone was just like, "Please let that be the first level. Please let that be the first level."
Yeah, I
know. So that was like almost a full year later. Like it was like 10 months until we got something new. But the thing is, also, nothing else was being advertised except for kinda Mania, and that's just because Mania was supposed to come out in the spring. But like they were really silent about anything Sonic after that event up until the end of the year, where they started doing the Mania hype train, and then they did Force. But they didn't start. But something that they didn't do is like until like after Mania was about to come out, like because it was supposed to come out in the spring, then it got delayed till August, so they had to start Forces advertising. But when it was but when it was aimed to come out for the spring, in the spring is when we started getting Forces advertisements. So I guess Sega's taking the mentality of only advertising one game at a time to make that the brunt of their marketing budget, which Nintendo did that with 3D All-Stars. They came out with 3D All-Stars, which was coming out in September. They announced it during the summer. Came out in September. Then after 3D All-Stars started running its course and coming out, that's when they started talking about 3D World and Bowser's Fury. Like, they announced it, but they didn't say anything about it until, like, after 3D World. So I can't be mad. Also, I would hate if they came out with a reveal trailer with gameplay this early. Because... because it's a very unpopular opinion, but I hate when games get revealed too early. If you're giving me gameplay, the game better be coming out within a year. Like, you can't be giving me gameplay 2 years in advance.
It can depend. I mean, I feel like people like to feel in the know, but then there's also that level of like, you know, it's so far off. It almost feels like pointless even watching.
Yeah, if they gave us a gameplay reveal now, it'd be just.
I mean, the only kind of thing I could potentially see Rangers getting any more kind of info, whatever that would may mean, is maybe the 25th of June.
Maybe the 23rd. Like maybe after the symphony, they'll maybe play the main theme of Rangers or something.
Could do.
Because they played Fist Bump before Forces came out.
That's true. Yeah.
It's so like before they even showed gameplay of Forces, they were playing the main theme. So it's a possibility that maybe they'll end the Symphony Flight. Oh yeah, and don't you guys want to hear the main theme for the next 3D Sonic game? And maybe they'll drop the title or something.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I could possibly expect. I don't expect gameplay.
I suppose now it's just a waiting game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just a waiting game, and the thing is, it's not like that they're leaving... Also kind of funny, Sonic fans have been saying all last year, we're not even asking for much, we're just asking for ports. They port colors. I didn't want that port!
Yeah. Anyway, on that note, we're coming up to our 50 minutes. I think it's probably a good time to wrap up. I think we've covered all the base things, really. Yeah. You know what I mean?
We didn't talk about the leaks. We just talked about the CGI.
Yeah, with ranges, I suppose. I suppose with the leaks and stuff, again, I don't really kind of... It's mainly right with this video, probably best to just stick to kind of what we officially know.
What officially know? Okay, just so... Okay, that's fair. That's completely fair.
Yeah. If there's more development with the leaks and stuff, we can always make a follow-up video,
Yeah, I'm totally down with that.
Stuff like that, definitely. Anyway, thank you for coming on. It's been a reunite after the Spin Dash class.
It's been fun. The GT video is coming, and it's because it's summer vacation. Mm-hmm. I finished my sophomore year at uni, so.
Make sure to check out Pointing Out the Obvious's channel. That's a mouthful to swallow. Like he briefly mentioned, then he is working on a Sonic GT video. It's been in the works for a long time. I'm actually in it briefly, so the pressure's on Kendall. It's been in the works for a long time. The pressure's not on as much as poor Mr. Blue Jay with his 10-month video, but the pressure's on. So make sure to check out Pointing Out the Obvious. He does a lot of Sonic content. So if you like Sonic, which I assume you do if you've watched this video.
Yeah, I also plan to start streaming on my YouTube channel because I now have free time. I can actually stream.
There you go.
But fun fact about the GT video, little tease: Lemon's part of the video is going to be the hardest part to edit.
Just give me more info about that. You'll have to give me more info about that later. Jesus, can't speak. Obviously. I know if you're watching this on Lemonade, this is the second channel to Lemon. Make sure to subscribe to Lemon mainly. If you want to kind of see the main stuff I'm putting out. My next video is in the works, and stuff is coming out. Obviously, I also have a Discord server as well. So if you want to check that out, there'll be a link to that in the description.
I also have a Discord server.
There you go. Cool. Throw it in there.
Pretty cool. So if you like my takes.
Server, if you like Discord servers, this is the place.
This is the podcast for it.
Thank you all for watching. Thank you for making it to the end, and see you later. See you in the next video.
All right, see you later.